Hello, hello. Lovely to see you all here. I was here. Probably saw in the comments. I kept getting this message when I clicked go live that traffic was unusually high or something like that. And so I had to wait. But here I am. I guess the traffic jam has loosened up, and now we can be here together on this Tuesday. So Rena went back to school yesterday. She had a great first day, and she was already awake this morning when I went to get her up for school. She was ready to go again. So that makes my mama heart happy to know how happy she is to go to school. So other than that, I got a haircut this morning, so I was up and out bright and early, and I'm ready to be here with you all. So I'm gonna go ahead and check the comments and say hello to everyone who's here today. Hello, Swank, Namaste, Play in the Sand, Face Mask Day, Raspberry Tart Day. Yummy. I just found out when I was getting my haircut that we have a new coffee shop that's opened here in my little small town. So I'm thinking maybe I got to go run to the drugstore, which happens to be right close to where this new coffee shop is. So I think I'm going to go get some coffee. I don't know if they have desserts, but if they do, maybe they have a raspberry tart and I can have that to go with my coffee. I do have some face masks, a few different ones actually that I could do, and that could be part of my self care tonight. So thank you for letting us know what our special days are today, Swank. Hello, Amy. I'm so sorry to hear that you are recovering from a migraine. I have migraine too. I know, actually, tonight is my Aimovig injection night. I do have a once a month preventive, and the Aimovig injection has really substantially decreased my migraine events, like drastically. And then if I do get a migraine, I have a rescue med. I have a Tosimra nasal spray, and that will usually knock it out just after one spray. But oh my gosh, migraines are miserable, and I hope you will do all light things. Definitely relax and take it easy because I know, like, even for, it's probably this way for most people, like, but even once my like head pain aspect of migraine is gone, it still takes me a couple of days at least to recover physically. I still have like a brain fog and just feel like my body's so heavy. It just really wipes you out. So I hope you're feeling a lot better. Definitely take it easy. And this was just me saying I'm here and had that message. I've never seen that happen with StreamYard. Hello, hello, Eleanor. Lovely to see you here. Coffee and pumpkin scented candle. Perfect. That is a perfect way to start this. I call it October. The calendar says August. I say October. I really just go ahead, even though it's still hot as it can be where I am. Like, I was looking into next week. We're gonna have some highs, like actual temperature wise, high 100. But then because of the heat index, those days are going to feel anywhere from like 106 to 109. And I'm like, come on, I just hate it. But yeah, in my house, I've shifted fully into Halloween. I just got some incense, and it's autumn spice scent, and it smells very good. So I love that you're starting with coffee and your pumpkin scented candle. That's an act of self-care, coffee and candles. And some mornings, hellos, and highs. It's lovely to see everyone here today. So I don't know, like, I don't know if it's self care or not, but I've got to be out of the house Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week. So my time during our sprints today is going to be spent working on Substack content, but I am going to have a nice playlist going. And my nice playlist is going to be uh, Taylor Swift's Folklore, the Long Pond studio sessions. I love to put that on when I'm working in the day. It just helps set the tone. Makes me happy. There's just something extra special about the Long Pond studio sessions. So that is self care, having that playing while I'm doing my Substack writing. So let me know what you're going to be up to during the self care sprint. I do want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody who was able to join the Literary Love Book Club live show discussion for What Hunger. It was a wonderful time. We talked about so many interesting topics out of that one book, and I have to give another huge shout out to my co-host Vivian Asimos. She is an anthropologist, so she brought that take into What Hunger, and it was fascinating. So if you didn't get a chance to catch it live, you can go back and catch the replay. If you didn't read What Hunger, you can read it and then go back and catch the replay of the live show, because it will be up there whenever you're ready to watch it. Also, the October Film Fest is still going, watching all of the Hell House LLC movies. I've seen them all before, but of course I'm re-watching them this year for my first annual October Film Fest. I just finished the second one, my rewatch of that, and it drops a lot from the first to the second, in my opinion, but I still enjoy the second. It's just a fun franchise. So this will be an annual thing. I already have my idea for next October. So there are exciting things going on. So I'll check the comments and see what everybody else is going to get up to during sprints. Hi, Em. How are you? Lovely, lovely to see you here. Yep, that hangover, 24 years. Yeah, mine started at 19 and I'm 51 now. So it's just, I kept hearing people say when you got older, they get better, which I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that mine have gotten better because I'm older, or if it's because of the Aimovig injection. Yep, that's me. Sometimes I will still get them. And summertime for me is the worst. I don't know where you are, Amy. So I don't know if summer is worse for you, but like heat and humidity are major triggers. So living in South Alabama is not the best place to live for a lot of reasons. But one of them is because of migraines. Yes, summers are the toughest for me. So I do hope you rest, relax, practice extra loads of self-care today. Yeah, Folklore is one of my favorites. Like, I feel like if you ask me at different times in my life, I would say different ones, but the consistent ones that are my favorites are the Torture Poets Department, Folklore, and Evermore. But also, I would need to add All Too Well, the 10-minute version from the Red album. And then You're Losing Me from Midnights. So I would take certain albums, but then I got to grab up, other songs. And some more hellos and hi. Thank you. It had needed cutting for a while. With this kind of like pixie cut, I have to get it cut about every 5 weeks. So as far as like maintenance, is pretty easy, other than having to get haircut more frequently. But then I save money in like hair products because it doesn't take that much to do this hair. Folklore, yes. Yay. And some more good mornings. Oh no, Crystal, but I'm glad you could pop in. Yeah, boo hoo for work. I hope the work day goes by quickly and you're able to practice some self care when you get home, or maybe even sneak a little bit of self care in at work. And some more hellos and highs. Ooh, leftover brunch. Yeah, if the family lets you, yeah, that's the thing. Like with Rena back in school, it is very quiet around here since it is just me and the pets. But sometimes I still am distracted by other things. So that's why I'm got to make myself kind of get this tunnel vision to work on Substack content, because that is one of the things, like working from home is like I see all of the things around the house that I need to do, but I'm like, no, I have to do this other work. So finding that balance is tough for sure. All right, so let me look at our time, and it's close enough to quarter after this hour, so we will come back at the next hour on the dot. So let me put that up there for us. Oh, okay. Audiobook. I'm glad you can listen to an audiobook. That always helps the work go by faster and better. Womb City. I'm adding it to my never ending TBR. Thank you, Crystal. Okay, let's hop off for a bit, and I will see you all again on the next hour. So happy self care, everybody. Hello, hello. How did everybody's self-care go? I feel like mine went by super fast. I got maybe this much writing done. I spent most of the time working on the image for my article, which really I should have done after I finished writing the article. But sometimes it's easier to design your image than it is to write. So that's what I did. So let me see what everybody else got up to. And I was just telling Crystal that they had Womb City on KU, so I got it. And Crystal is liking it. And so if Crystal gives me a book recommendation and she says I think or she thinks I'll like it, then I'm probably going to like it. So I immediately had to go see if I could snatch it up, and I'm glad I did. I'm looking forward to reading it. I loved the premise of it. It had me the comparison to The Handmaid's Tale meets Get Out. I said, okay, sold. So, what did everyone else get up to? Let me know. Everybody's quiet. Yeah, like I said, all I really did was spend most of that time on my image, which the image is important because I feel like that's the title grabs the reader's attention, but then that image also does too. So if you can get an interesting title plus an interesting image, then hopefully people will be inclined to read it. Read Google News. I hope you practice a lot of self-care. Now that you have read the news, I'm always, leery to even look at the news. I mean, I do stay aware. It's important to be aware, but gosh, it's really hard to be aware these days for sure. A second cup of coffee, always a nice thing to do. Planning craft projects and ideas. I know my crafting, like I've gotten so busy and bogged down with writing because it's like it's a job to me for Substack. So I have not given myself as much time for journaling, but I did do some last week. I took Thursday last week off to just spend the day with reading and then doing my junk and collage journaling because I just needed that break. And so I'm trying to build in. I don't know if I'll be able to do it one day a week. I would like to this week. I know I won't be able to build in just a craft day because I'll be out of the house Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So whereas I could have maybe gotten, a lot of work done here the first few days, I was also out of the house yesterday to run a few errands. I already got a haircut today and I got to run some more errands this afternoon. And then tomorrow I've got a therapy appointment. So I'm going to be spending the bulk of my time while I'm at my house working. But maybe next week when I don't have as many outside commitments, I can take another whole day just to read and just to do my journaling because it is something that helps me like wind down, and so it's so important to do that. And I can't wait to see what projects and crafts you're planning, Eleanor. I'm gonna be on the lookout for it. Yeah, yes, I love it. I love to dig into some deep themes and analysis. Good choice. Good choice. That balance there too. News. Yeah, looking at the happier aspect, looking for the good news because The bad news is, it's not hard to find. You don't even have to look for it, and it's right there in your face. But sometimes it does take a little bit more digging to find good news. And there is good news. There's still good news. There are still good people. We have to remember that. There's a lot of good people right here. Yeah, I understand that. That's the way I can be. Is like as I get into certain moods, where I want to do a certain, activity like journaling. I've got a diamond painting that I have worked on the past 2 or 3 Halloweens. Maybe it's one of the really big Halloween ones, and I need to work on it, or I want to. It's not need. I want to work on it again this October, but I have to find it first. I looked for it the other day just so I could have it handy when October rolls around, and now I can't find it. So I've got to find it so I can finally complete it this October. But that's kind of like, I don't know. I do that sometimes. I'll have something and then I have no idea what I did with it. So thank you, ADHD, which is not fun to have on top of depression too. But that is another story for another day. Yeah, I feel that so much. I've been really, leaning more into also mood reading. I'll kind of go through phases where I'll stick to my TBR, and then I'll go through other phases where I'm just mood reading. Like for this month, the only book I'm currently reading that was actually on my TBR is the audiobook for Immaculate Conception by Ling Ling Huang. I have not read any of the other physical books that I put on my TBR. Instead, I'm reading Monsters in the Archives by Carolyn Bix, which is the book that she wrote after spending a year in Stephen King's archives. She's the Stephen King chair of literature at the University of Maine, and she actually got access to go into his archives for a year. And his archives are housed in his big house in Bangor. And so she was able to go in and do that. And she actually got to meet Stephen King and interview him some, which I've been outside the house in Bangor when I went in 2023. And we did the SK tour, which is Stephen King tours. I didn't meet Stephen King. He doesn't do the tour himself. I wish, but I do have a picture outside of that house. But it's been a lot of fun so far. I'm pretty close to finishing the book. A lot of it I knew as being the level of Stephen King fan that I am, but there are still some things that I'm learning that I did not know. So it's just a lot of fun, and I'm having a good time with it. Yes, exactly. I'll be looking for something else, and then I'll be like, "Hey, here's this big, Halloween diamond painting." And I really, like I said, it is big, and I have no idea how I have, lost it because you would think it would be too big to lose. But if anybody can do it, I can do it. It is. It's very relaxing too. Because it's just that repetitive motion, and then it's very satisfying, when you put the little diamond, the little bead on it, and you see it filling up. I've got some coasters over here that I did these a couple of years ago for Zombie-thon. See little oop hair, and that is Rena's hair because it is long and dark, so it is not mine. But yeah, I did the coasters, and they were actually pretty quick. But the poster I have is not so quick. especially when you lose it. Not late. Everything is just fine. We don't worry about, any stresses. It is self-care today. I am at, I have not been the best, I will say, at doing book reviews. I don't do them on Goodreads. I really just use Goodreads as a way to keep track of what I want to read, and then like the reading challenge. But when I review it, I will review it on YouTube, which I haven't filmed a video in a while. It's hard to do in the summer, but I do plan to get back to filming YouTube videos and reviewing books. I think sometimes I get bogged down if I have to review a lot of books. So I'm kind of trying to think about how I want to do it. I did try at one point a little while back to do like a weekly wrap up where I talked about the books I was reading. Like if I finished it, I would review it completely. And if I was still reading it, I would just talk about, what I could of it. So I don't know exactly when, but I am going to review it. There's a lot I do like about it, but some of the issues I have is probably nitpicky, but Caroline Bix, she's doing a great job, but she is a real like fraidy cat, and it's funny because she did read Stephen King when she was younger, but she gets so scared of stuff. And I mean, yeah, I do sometimes too, but sometimes I'm like, why are you so scared of everything? But it's funny. It's funny. Yeah, they were a lot of fun to make, and they were really quick. Even though there were a lot of them, it still felt like that diamond painting went by pretty quickly. Yeah, I loved them. I yeah, I ordered it. I ordered them from the evil company. I got Amazon. Yeah. That's where I got them, and I think I don't know if I typed in the search like zombie eyeball coasters, but if you type that in like zombie eyeball diamond painting coasters, you could probably find them. They're they were fun. I liked it a lot. Um, so let's see. Think we are about to the end of comments. So it's again kind of timing this really nicely. It's about a quarter after this hour. So we will come back at the next like exact hour. I love it when it works out easily like this. Well, it's still scrolling at the I just kept it up. I guess I forgot to take it off when we came back. So even easier. It's still scrolling at the bottom. And so we will still come back at the next hour. So happy self care, everybody. Hello. I hope everybody had a nice self-care sprint. I actually got into some writing. I finished doing the designs, and now I can focus on the writing, and it seems to be going pretty well so far. I took a long time to actually sit down and start writing, but sometimes if I just get in there and start going, then the ideas come to me. But a lot of, at least in my experience, a lot of being a writer is procrastinating and feeling like I have no idea what to write. And then I sit down and, a lot of times once I sit down and start writing something, it'll come. Doesn't always happen. And I can be going on like a long flow, doing really well, and then hit that block. But it's going okay so far. So fingers crossed that I can stay in the flow. So I'm going to check the comments and see what everybody else got up to during that self-care sprint. Okay, I have not looked on Temu, but thanks for that information, Swank. That's nice though. Spend that time talking to your mom. That's a good thing. And I'm happy you did some journaling. That is always a good, a good time. I will like I said, I'll be getting back to my journaling, probably not this week, but maybe. Very nice. Swank is always on it with the reading. Ooh, I love that. A moon, bats, stars, perfect for spooky season. Oh for 2 for reading. It happens that way sometimes, Em. Oh, I remember those days when my kids were little and we would play restaurant, and we have so many good memories. Like we read this book because I did homeschool my middle 2 children like all the way through, and we did this curriculum when they were both in elementary school where we would read a story like a picture book, and it would be the same book every day of a week, and then you just kind of would do all your science, math, all of that would be related to that book. And then we also had like a cooking element to it. So we read this book called Night of the Moon Jellies, and I think it's written by Mark Shasta, but his grandmother in the book has a restaurant, and they were famous for their lobster rolls. It was in New England. So for the cooking element for that, the kids did lobster rolls and like baked potatoes, and they served it to Tim and me, and they had their little restaurant. So I immediately thought about that when you talked about playing restaurant with your kid. Oh, cappuccino and brownie a la mode. Oh yeah, that's some good self care right there. Mm, nice, Crystal. I'm glad you got to listen to some more audiobook and warming up lunch. That's what I'm about to do on our next break is get some lunch too, because I am getting hungry. Chair and stare. Yeah, yes, exactly. Sometimes it is that way, or when the weather's cooler, it's way too hot now. But sometimes when I hit that wall, I'll just get up and take a walk and then come back and feel like, okay, now I have some ideas. Okay, nice. Temu, gonna have to check it out. I have not ordered anything from Temu. So, Swank, have you ordered and were you satisfied with it? Let us know because I have not ordered anything yet from them. Trying to scroll down, and sometimes my little clicker doesn't want to go on the right spots. Oh, dress, laundry. Yes, never ending, right? But at least you got a good podcast to listen to. The Poisoner's Cabinet is that the one that Sinead Hannah O'Crate does? And she's also on YouTube and Instagram. I think that's hers. I think that's her podcast. Um, she's really good and she's really like entertaining and good sense of humor too. I'm trying to scroll down. Here we go. I love, yeah, ABCs of reading. Yeah, I love combining like the doing more of the unit study. I loved doing that when my kids were little. And they learned how to cook. They started cooking very. And while we were there, we also went over to Acadia National Park, which is the most beautiful place I've ever seen in yeah, like for real. Most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. But it was like this comedy of errors because we went to three different places while we were in Maine to get lobster. Every place was out. I don't know what was going on in April of 2023, but that region of Maine, Bar Harbor, Bangor, around there, they were out of lobster. And I was like, that was the second thing I was looking the most forward to. Of course, it was, seeing all the Stephen King sites, but then secondly, it was lobster rolls. We didn't even get them. So I wish. It just means I have to go back. Yeah, imaginary food is not, it's not quite as fun, but it's less messy. Okay, yeah, I thought Sinead did the Poisoner's Cabinet. Thank you, Eleanor. Now, okay. Well, thank you, Swain. That's a personal, I like to get somebody that I know who can vouch for, a company or whatever. So that's good to know that you order your stickers there, and just one thing that was not so good and then they refunded. So that's all you can ask, right? Sometimes if you get a product that's not what you want, or it's not right, then if you get refunded, then all is well. So I may have to check out Temu now. All right, so let's see our time. And again, it's about 10 after, so we will come back at about 55 after, and I'm just gonna put that last sprint in there so everybody will know. First, I would love to live there. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Happy self care, everybody, and I'll see you all in about 45 minutes. Hello, everybody. Let me know what you got up to during that self care sprint. I did get lunch and did some more writing. It's still going, maybe not flowing as quickly or as easily as I'd like it to, but it's going. That's all I can say about that. So let's see what everybody else got up to. So yay, you got some reading in, Em. Loaded dishes done. Very nice. I got a dishwasher to take care of later today too, but I will probably listen to my audiobook while I do that. I am listening to Immaculate Conception by Ling Ling Huang. I'm not very far into it yet. So it's kind of slow right now, but I'm giving it, I'm going to give it time, of course, to kind of pick up the pace and everything because I read Natural Beauty by the same author and I really loved it. So I think I'm going to like this one a lot. It's just taking a little time to get into it. I'm glad you were able to organize and get your collage supplies and in an order and that yeah, I understand. Like my junk journaling, I had really nice organization for it, and then I've gotten some more stuff recently that I want to use eventually. And I've just kind of stuck it in the basket and I haven't put it in the proper little bags. So I feel I feel a little bit of that chaos too, Amy. So I'm glad you were able to get that done. And then it makes it easier too when you do get ready to craft or do your journal. If everything is organized, then it's good for creativity. Very nice, Swank. I hope it's informative and giving some helpful information. Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you for being here and brightening up my day and brightening up the chat. Yay, Crystal, you heading down the home stretch now. Couple more hours and then smooth sailing, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just I have everything nice and neat. And it's not that I don't want more stuff to go in it because it's fun to get some cool stuff that can go in my journal. But then I'm like, I don't have time to put it in the right bag now. When the truth is, I probably do have time to put it in the right section. I just don't want to do it at the time. And then it stacks up and it gets overwhelming. So, very good for you, Amy, for getting it organized. So, thank you, everyone, for being here today. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and week. Thank you, Amy. I really enjoy doing these too, and I'm glad to be back at it. With maybe minimal interruption now that Rena's back in school. I am taking care of myself. Sometimes my writing, I don't put out as much as I would like, but I'm really having to take care of myself because a lot of there are a lot of things going on in my life that are very stressful and grief and things like that. So I have learned I learned the hard way, but I did learn that self-care is a priority, definitely. Thank you, Em. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Swank. Yes, yes. Well, actually, I won't be on Saturday Morning Momentum this week either because it is my daughter's baby shower. A lot of you know that I'm about to have my first grandchild due in October, a little girl. So I will be showering this Saturday, but I will be back next Tuesday for self care sprint. Thank you, Crystal. I'm glad you could make it, even though you were working. I'm glad you got to have a little self care time with us. And I hope your rest of your workday goes by super quick. And just thank you all. And I hope you have a wonderful day or night or wherever you are. And I will see you all again next week. Bye. Thank you.